Basic Math, Chapter 10, Section 9, Dividing Decimals by Whole Numbers. Remember, a quotient is the answer to a division problem. Divide decimals the way you would divide whole numbers. Place the decimal point in the quotient above the decimal point in the dividend. The divisor's doing the dividing. The dividend's getting divided, it's in the division box. The quotient is the answer to a division problem. Now the key to all of this is making sure everything is lined up nice and neat. That's really helpful that you keep the numbers and columns all in nice neat rows. For example, divide 93 and 8/10 by 35. Step 1, place the decimal in the quotient. So they moved the math problem into a division box. The number that's written first when it's side by side goes in the box. The second number is doing the dividing. So 93 and 8/10 divided by 35. So how many 35s will go into 93 will be step 2. First, we're just going to move this decimal up on top of the division box. So that's step 1. Step 2 is that division. Do the dividing. You may need to write zeros at the end of your dividend, so we might need to add zeros. So you're going to start, 35 doesn't go into 9, but 35 goes into 93 twice. 2 times 35 is 70, leaving you with 23. Bring down the 8. 6 35s goes into 238, and that's 210. 6 times 35 is 210. Subtract 238 minus 210, you're left with 28. Well, instead of a remainder, write another 0 to the right, bring it down. Now 280, you can fit 8 35s into 280 because 8 times 35 is 280. Now there's nothing left over. We can stop making zeros. The quotient of 93 and 8/10 divided by 35 is 2 and 68/100. Sometimes the decimal quotient will have a repeating pattern. When this happens, the division will never end. To end the division, draw a bar over the repeating pattern. For example, divide 1 and 4/10 by 33. Step 1, divide until you see a repeating pattern. So 33 and then 1 and 4/10 is put in the division box. The decimal is put on top of the division box, and then you start dividing. 33 doesn't go into 1, 33 doesn't go into 14, so put a 0 to show that you've moved past the 14. Now 33 can go into 140 4 times. 4 times 33 is 132. 140 minus 132 leaves you with 8. You can add zeros to the right, bring a 0 down. 33 can go into 80 2 times, and 2 times 33 is 66. Do the subtraction, you're left with 14. Bring another 0 down, and now we can again see that 4 times 33 is 132. That looks familiar. We're still left with an 8, just like we were before the first time. You can bring down another 0 by adding another 0. And now we're again trying to see how many 33s go into 80. It's still going to be 2 33s going into 80, and then it will again leave you with 14. So this will repeat forever. So draw a bar over the repeating part of the answer. So we know that it is 0.0424242442 forever. The 42 will repeat forever. So we can put a line on top of the 42. And this is what the answer would look like. 42 thousandths repeating. So for practice A, we're just placing decimal points in the quotient. You can write a 0 if you need to, like they did for number 1. So number 2, the decimal is to the right of the 6, so you bring it up and put the decimal in between the 1 and 2. Number 3, the decimal is at the front, so we'll move it up and put the decimal right at the beginning, but there are spaces between the decimal and the 4 as the quotient. So there should be a 0 above this 0 and a 0 above this 4. Now the 4, which is over the 8, shows us the final quotient. And we can see how it lines up like that. For number 4, we have the decimal right here. So we put the decimal to the left of the 3. So there's our practice putting in the decimal. We can also practice doing a little bit of division here for practice B. For number 5, 4 can go into 2 0 times, but 4 can go into 24 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. That leaves us with no remainder, but we have the decimal right there. So we put the decimal and add a 0. 5 can go into 45 9 times, because 9 times 5 is 45. The decimal gets put right on top of the quotient box and add a 0 to show the value that the 9 is not 9 tenths, it is 9 hundredths. All right, let's try some practice C. So we're going to divide. Draw a bar over the repeating part of the quotient. So we'll write this off to the side. We'll put a little space. So we'll start with 16. 11, 640 is getting divided. So how many 11s can we fit into 6? Well, none. So how many 11s can we fit into 64? If we did 6, that would be 66. So what about 5 times 11 is 55. And now we can subtract and we'll get 9 left over. 9 is less than 11, so we're okay. Bring down to 0. 90. How many 11s can go into 90? 9 would be 99, so that's too much. But 8 times 11 is 88. And then we subtract, we get 2 left over. Well, 640 there's 2 left over. We don't want a remainder. We want to make a decimal point and add some zeros. I'll just add 3 just for fun. You can add as many zeros as you want, and it's still 640. So let's bring the next 0 down. Now we have 20. 2 times 11 would be 22. That's too much. So about 111. 1 times 11 is 11, and we're left with 9. I see something. If we bring the next 0 down, we'll get 90 again. And then if we did 9 11s, that'd be 99. So we can do 8. 8 times 11 is 88. And we're left with 2 again. That looks familiar. If we bring down the next 0, we have 20 again. And then only 1 11 goes in and leaves us with 9 again. And then if we brought the next 0 down, that would be 90 again, and we could put another 8 in there. And it would go on like that forever. So 1818 would go on forever. So instead of writing the 1818 too many times, we can just stop, put the decimal place above where it is into the quotient from where it was in the dividend, bring it up. Now, the quotient, we only need this part of the quotient. We don't need the rest of these 1818s. And then to completely finish it off, we'll put the repeating line over the 18. So the final quotient is 58 and 1800ths repeating. So that's how we can work those repeating ones out. The information on the right shows the cost of internet service. You can choose Plan A or Plan B. Judy uses the internet about 24 hours each month. Which plan should she buy? To find the cost of Plan B, you need to multiply 14 hours by $1.50 and then add the $8.99. So for Plan B, she's already using 10 hours and then $1.50 for each additional hour. So that is from the 24 minus the 10, so that's giving us the 14 hours. And so those 14 hours are the additional hours. So we've got $1.50 times 14. There are 2 decimal places. So we go 1, 2, so $21. Dollar sign. But we have to add the $8.99. So $21 plus $8.99 would be $29.99. Lee uses the internet 48 hours each month. Which plan should he buy? So you could do Plan B, take 10 hours away because it's built into the $8.99. And then you'd have 38 hours times 150. And then you would add the $8.99 to that product. And you would see, is that more than $19.99? Well, we already know that Judy uses half of that and hers is $29.99. Number 3, at how many hours of use will plan A be better? At how many hours of use will plan A be the better buy? So if you have too much use, then unlimited is better for plan A. At how many hours is it more cost effective for plan B? How little internet do you need? Using up those minutes. Let me know if you have any questions. You can work out those last 2 problems for fun and then do your workbook for chapter 10, section 9. Thank you.